Good day, students. Welcome to our class for this day on General Biology 1. So I am, of course, your teacher, Rex, your teacher in biology for this day. So are we all ready for our new learning journey? Of course, we are. All right. So before we're going to start, please make your personal prayer. I'll give you 1 minute to do it. Okay. So I know that the Lord will always guide us with our discussion or our class for this day. So our class for this day is all about photosynthesis. I know that you are very familiar with photosynthesis because you have already done this or um, you have already discussed this during your junior high school year. So what we're going to do here in our senior high school in the general biology one is that we're going to have a bit of deepening about the topic. At the same time, a sort of review. So it wouldn't be a problem because you have already a stock knowledge about this topic. Right, let's proceed. Before we start, let's have a bit of a review. Some sort of a trip down memory lane. Okay, so let's check the spiral progression, the development of the concept from junior high school up to senior high. So let's start with your grade 7 experience. You have there the cells, the plant cell. What have you knew about plant cells during your grade 7? Anyone? All right, we have here in the chat box, we have Nika. Okay, Nika said here that cells has an organelle which is called a chloroplast, which houses the green pigment chlorophyll. That is correct. Um, that is only unique to plant cell. What else? Okay. Hannah said here that there is cell wall that is present on plant cell. That is actually correct. So those are the different things that you knew about plant cells during your grade 7. How about during your grade 8 ecosystem? Okay, so okay, another Nika. So Nika said here that ecosystem is an interaction between living and non-living things. That is correct. Um, Felix mentions here in the chat box. He says that ecosystem, it is where um, just like what Nika said, um, living organism, example, the plant, interacts with the sun, which is a non-living thing, to make their own food. That is actually found, or that is actually discussed in the ecosystem topic. That is good. Okay, another one we have here under grade 9, photosynthesis and respiration. So you have already done this during your grade 9. So let's have a brief review for your grade 9 topic. All right, we have here Felix again. He said that um, photosynthesis is uh, photosynthesis is the conversion of light energy to chemical energy. It is the food production. It is a process where um, plants or makes their own food. That is actually correct. Um, Hannah here in the chat box says that respiration has three processes: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, which is also correct. That is correct. What else? Okay, so photosynthesis has two um, two processes: the light-dependent reactions and the Calvin cycle or light-independent. Okay, so you have really get the gist of the topics in grade 9. You can still remember it. How about in the grade 10? We have here the flow of energy. Flow of energy, yes, that's correct. 10% of energy is being passed down from consumers, from different, from organism to organism. Okay, that's correct. That's the 10% rule of energy. All right. So what else? Okay, so um, that's the prior knowledge that you have during your junior high school about the about plants, about how they make their own food, or the process involved inside the plant. Okay, so for this day, we're going to have or we're going to discuss about the pigments used in photosynthesis. Though we can say that photosynthesis, um, well, we can say that photosynthesis is not that very easy topic, and it is a very broad topic. So we're going to chop it down into simpler topics. So what we're going to discuss this day is the pigments used in photosynthesis. So what are the different objectives of our class? First, we're going to infer the different pigments in plants. So I know that you have already knowledge about the different pigments that are present in plants. Another one cites the importance of plant pigments in photosynthesis. Okay, so that is another objective. Now, before we proceed, let's have a bit of an activity, a metacognition review. So think about your learning. Uh, let's focus now with your learning about photosynthesis during your junior high school years. So here are different lines that you're going to complete. Where are you going to put your answers? You're going to share your answers in our chat box, as well as write your answers on our activity notebook in your house, okay? So we have here the first line. I believe that I know photosynthesis. First, I believe that blank. Second, I believe that blank. And finally, I believe that blank. So what are your thoughts? Think about the learning that you have about photosynthesis, the schema that you have. What is your learning about photosynthesis? I'll give you 10 seconds to do it. Okay, type your answers in the chat box. Okay, let's check your answers. Okay, we have here an answer from John Lloyd de Brido. Okay, so John Lloyd said here that I believe that I know photosynthesis. First, I believe that it is a process where plants make their own food. Second, I believe that photosynthesis has two processes, the light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction. And finally, I believe that photosynthesis is a conversion of light energy to chemical energy. That is actually correct. Thank you so much for that, John Lloyd. We have another response here from um, we have here from Nika. She said, I believe that I know photosynthesis. First, I believe that photosynthesis is the process where plants convert or make their own food. Yes, it's the same with John Lloyd's answer. Second, I believe that photosynthesis happens on the chloroplast of a plant. Oh, that is another one that is new. That's correct. And then finally, I believe that pigments are the ones that captures light energy from the sun so that photosynthesis will proceed. Okay, so that is a very good um, review of the knowledge that you have attained during your junior high school years. Thank you so much for that, Nika. So the others, please put your answers on your activity notebook. Okay. So let's proceed with an activity. So let's have a bit of an activity to open our minds with our topic for this day. Okay, let's proceed. So we have here two emoticons. We have a smiley face and a sad face. Now on our chat box, I want you to put a smiley face if um, the picture that I'm going to show you or tells you that that picture or that plant has the presence of chlorophyll. You know what chlorophyll is, right? Okay. Now put a sad face if you think that that picture of a plant doesn't have chlorophyll in it. So is the instruction clear to you? Okay, let's start. First picture, spinach green. What do you think of spinach green? Does it have chlorophyll or not? Put it on our chat box. Okay. So majority or all of actually, all has responded a smiley face. Ah, okay. Kasi green. So that's why you say, meron talaga siyang chlorophyll. That's a very good idea. Okay. Another picture. Maple in spring or summer. So I know kung ano naman i-answer niyo dito. Okay. Majority or all of you answered here a smiley face. So a maple in spring or summer has chlorophyll. Okay, another one. Maple in autumn or winter. Oh, ngayon hindi na yan green. Red na siya. So what do you think? Does it have chlorophyll or wala? Oh, divided na yung answers natin sa chat box. We have here now, meron na nag-smiley face, meron ding nag-sad face. Does maple in autumn or winter, the leaves of maple in autumn or winter has um, chlorophyll or not? Okay, we'll find out later. And then we have the last one, fall foliage. Hindi na naman siya green. It's orange, yellow-orange. Okay? Divided pa rin yung the answers. Meron nag-smiley face and then meron ding nag-sad face. Okay, let's find out the answers of your activity with our small experiment. Sir, paano natin gawin? We are doing it in a virtual way. Don't worry. Kasi we are going to use a simulator, an online simulator. So I did put on our chat box the link of the simulator. You can click it. Okay, so yan yung yung link, and then you can proceed with the experiment. So let's before I'm going to assign you with your virtual classroom or virtual room here in Zoom. You are already grouped, right? Already with our previous grouping. So yun din yung gagamitin natin with your virtual room. So before tayo pupunta doon, let's have this in the plenary first, the instruction for your experiment. Okay? So the title of our experiment is the pigments I observed in my paper chromatography of leaves. So do you know what is paper chromatography, right? What is paper chromatography? Okay, so you already knew about paper chromatography. So usually this is done in the laboratory. You're going to use filter paper, and then you're going to have a live sample of a plant. But since we're doing here in virtually, so we're going to use a simulator. So take note of the pigment and the colors. Different pigments, carotene, that's yellow-orange, xanthophyll, yellow, chlorophyll A, light green, chlorophyll B, dark green, anthocyanin, red. Okay, so I will share to you now the simulator. Okay, so this is now the simulator. So na-open niyo na rin ba ang simulator? Okay, so here in our simulator, you're going to you have here select the plant pigment extract, and then you're going to select the solvent, and then you're going to click start. Okay, example. You have here, these are the four samples kanina sa activity natin. So ito rin yung ilalagay nyo dyan sa inyong answer sheet or activity sheet na tinend ko na yesterday sa inyo. So you have your copies already. So within your group, in your virtual room, you're going to use the simulator to predict what are the different pigments present in the given plant. So always use ether acetone as your solvent. Okay. So you're just going to, for example, you're going to do the spinach green. So you're just going to click start. And then the paper chromatography will run. Simulator will run the paper chromatography. Okay, you just wait. And you're going to click here, show scale, so that you know the different present pigments. Okay, so you're going to click the test strip to measure the R1 value that is also found so that you can get the R1 value, RF value in your activity sheet. So you're going to identify this plant. So pigment identify. Yan lang yan. Is it a carotene? Oh, it's correct. Use the given legend that the guide, the color guide that I gave you earlier, the colors um, of the possible pigments that are present. So you're just going to click your show chart. So what are the different pigments that are present in the test strip or the paper chromatography? Okay, so you can use also this if you want to identify the band, if ayaw niyo pa makita yung mga pigments na present. Okay, so you should, for example, here on the spinach green, you have carotene, the yellow-orange that has an RF value of 0.95, meaning merong present na carotene dito sa paper chromatography kasi meron namang yellow-orange na present. And then you have also xanthophyll, ito yung yellow part, that's 0.71 yung RF value niya. Chlorophyll A, merong light green ito, chlorophyll A, 0.65, chlorophyll B, dark green, 0.45 ito, pero wala siyang anthocyanin, walang red, not applicable. So you do the activity with your groups. You can now proceed to your virtual classroom, and then you do it with you collaborate with your group, and then we're going to go back with our discussion after 10 minutes if you are done with the activity. So do you have any questions about our activity? Okay, wala nang question. So please do the activity. Okay. So you can now go back to our to our virtual room, to the plenary. Okay, so let's have a bit of answers here or questions. What are the different colors you observe in the paper chromatography of different leaves? And then second, which among the colors you observe is or are common among these samples? And then third, what could be the importance of these colors or pigments to photosynthesis? So answer this by group. Okay, so I will give you time, 10 minutes. Okay, so let's now proceed. I will put you back on the plenary. Okay, so within your group, I know that you have answered this collaboratively. So first, what are the different colors you observe in the paper chromatography of different leaves? Okay, you have red, yellow, orange, the yellow, dark green, the light green, orange, yes. So second question, which among the colors you observe is are common among these samples? So you have concluded that actually the four sample or the plant samples has chlorophyll, chlorophyll A and B, either of the chlorophyll. So meaning those in the activity earlier that we have, the four samples or the four plant samples actually have chlorophyll. So that's my leading answer dapat. Okay. So what could be the importance of these colors or pigments of photosynthesis? Okay, they are your answers. You said here that they have or they are used for absorbing light energy from the sun. That is correct. Okay. What else? All right. So yours answers by group. Please, I will please turn it in on our Google Classroom. On the classwork, please upload your outputs there. Okay. Okay. So let's proceed. So let's have our topic. Let's connect it with physics. Why do we need to connect it with physics? Is iba naman yun na branch of science. We are in biology. Actually, our topic now can be connected to different physics concepts so that we can understand it more. Bakit? Because first and foremost, photosynthesis involves, or our topic involves light. Do you have any idea about light? Yes, that is correct. The light is or composed of 7 colors. The ROYGBID, that's the ROYGBID, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So yung nakikita nating white light, meron yang if it passes through a prism, it has 7 colors. It's actually correct. So here are the different properties of light in physics. Or light is just a part of what we call the electromagnetic spectrum. Yes, so you have there, the light is what we call the visible light, but it is part of the EM wave. So you have here the radio, the microwave, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. Now, based on your understanding about the relationship between the wavelength and the energy it carries, what do you think is the relationship between the wavelength and the amount of energy that are present in different wavelengths? Okay, we have Hannah here says that um, the longer the wavelength, the lesser the energy, and the shorter the wavelength, the um, the energy is much greater. That is correct. So what do you think is the relationship now? Inversely proportional. That is correct. So the higher the wavelength, the or the longer the wavelength, the lower the amount of energy. And then if the wavelength is shorter, the energy is higher. Okay. So photon, it is a particle of light. So a particle of light, it acts as a discrete bundle of energy. So photon carries a bundle of energy. Now, energy content of a photon is inversely proportional to the wavelength of the light. Well, you are correct with the relationship between the energy present and the wavelength. Okay. Now we have what we call the photoelectric effect. That is the removal of an electron from a molecule by light. Remember the conversion from light energy to chemical energy. So the energy from the photon will be removed, or the electron from that molecule, from that particular um, um, photon. So it, uh, an electron will be removed, and then that will be the one that will be used by plants for photosynthesis. So what we call that is a photoelectric effect, which is actually a term in physics. So occurs when photons transfer energy to electrons. Okay, so let's proceed now with our main topic. It's about the pigments. Okay, so what are pigments again? Okay, so pigments are, these are the chemicals that are present in plants that helps in absorbing light energy. That is correct. So before we proceed with pigments, I want you to study this graph. So on the graph on the screen, you have here on the x-axis, you have the wavelength in nanometers, and then on the y-axis is absorption of light. And then you can see the lines given on the unbroken line, that is a chlorophyll A, hyphenated line is chlorophyll B, and then somewhat dotted, that is a beta carotene. So what are your observations about the graph? Share your observations now. Okay, so we have here an answer from Casey. She says here, chlorophyll A best absorbs a wavelength in 425 nanometers based on the graph, and between 650 and 700 nanometers compared to chlorophyll B. But chlorophyll B is much or can absorb light at 450 nanometers of wavelength. That is the best one. And then beta carotene best absorption of light is at 490 or 80 nanometers. So that is correct, Casey, on your observation about the graph. Okay, so the others, please write your observation about the graph on your activity notebook. Okay, so let's proceed now with the different pigments present on plants. Let's start with the principal pigment. This is a primary pigment. So chlorophyll A, that is a primary pigment in plants and cyanobacteria. It absorbs violet, blue, and red light. Now, if you can observe, this is the organic structure, or this is the molecular structure, organic molecular structure of a chlorophyll A. This is the porphyrin ring, this is the tail, and this is the functional group of chlorophyll A. So what is the functional group of chlorophyll A? Bakit importante ito? Because this is the identifier if that particular organic molecule is a chlorophyll A or is it a chlorophyll B. So ano ba yung nasa ano niya. Ano ba yung kanyang um, functional group that is attached on the porphyrin ring um, of the chlorophyll A and B. Okay, so we have another one, the chlorophyll B. That is the secondary pigment absorbing light wavelengths that chlorophyll A does not absorb. So may ito rin naman yung pareha lang sila ng organic structure. Pero dito sila nag-differ. So in another functional group, so ano to? What do you think is this? This is correct. That is an aldehyde. Remember your organic chemistry. That is an aldehyde functional group. Now, ano naman yung sa chlorophyll A? Hindi natin alam. But usually, in this, hindi nyo alam. Okay, so usually in interpreting an organic structure, this is a methyl group. Okay, so the structure of pigment, yun, the porphyrin ring, the complex ring structure with alternating double and single bonds. So ito yun siya. This one, this is the porphyrin ring. And then, magnesium ion at the center of the ring. Then photons excite electrons in the ring. So doon nagbibigay, doon yung nag-transfer yung photon ng energy sa electron. Saan nakalagay yung electron? It is in the porphyrin ring. Doon nangyayari yung tinatawag na photoelectric transfer. So, yun siya. Photons excites electrons in the ring. So, saan yung electron nakalagay? Nandun sa porphyrin ring of the magnesium ion. Okay, so electrons are shuttled away from the ring. That is now the start of the light-dependent reaction. Remember your grade 9 topic about photosynthesis, but I want you to, we're going to discuss that later on light-dependent process. Okay, so this is the structure. So this is a chloroplast, and then you have the thylakoid and the granule. In the thylakoid, it is where the chlorophyll, the pigments of on the membrane of the thylakoid, it is where the different photosystems are present, the aggregations of chlorophyll, nandun sila lahat. So you have there, yes, that's the methyl group, the chlorophyll A, the functional group, the chlorophyll B is an aldehyde group. Ito yun, dito siya nag-differ, yung dalawa. So, yung electron is nandito. The magnesium ion is actually the electron. So, nangyayari dito yung photoelectric effect. Okay. So, the transfer of energy from photon to the electron. Okay. So, we have also accessory pigments. So, these are, same with chlorophyll B, secondary pigments absorbing light wavelengths other than those absorbed by chlorophyll A. So kapag hindi kaya i-absorb the chlorophyll A, nandun si mga accessory pigments. So this is increase the range of light wavelengths that can be used in photosynthesis. Includes chlorophyll B, carotenoids, xanthophyll, anthocyanin, the beta carotene, and then carotenoids also act as antioxidants. Ring a bell, antioxidants, anti-cancers. Okay. So what are the different required wavelengths in light-dependent reaction? On the photosynthesis, remember, we have two photosystems in photosynthesis process. Photosystem 2 requires 680 nanometers, and photosystem 1 requires 700 nanometers of wavelength. Now let's review the graph. Okay, so 680 to 700. Saan natin makita? Nandito, 680 to 700. Sino ang mas, which among the given pigments absorbs or has higher absorption of light on this particular wavelength? Okay, let's try. Ito yung hyphenated, that is chlorophyll B. So ito si chlorophyll A, you're going to see si chlorophyll A, ang mas or has more capable or has more capacity in absorbing light on particular range of wavelength or nanometers of wavelength. Meaning si chlorophyll A, yung, kaya si chlorophyll A ang naging primary pigment kasi siya naman ang mataas yung absorption capacity within the required wavelength of the plant or of the photosystem so that light-dependent reaction happens. So that is the reason why kapag tatanungin kayo, bakit chlorophyll A yung primary pigment. Okay? So let's proceed. So do you have any questions? Meron bang tanong about the pigment? Is it everything clear? Okay. So on our assessment, this is just the same with our pre-activity kanina. This is still a metacognitive question. So you're going to think about your thinking, think about the learning that you have on our class today. So what you're going to do is, I know why blank. So remember the different topic or the topic that we have discussed this day, and then any concepts that you got from our topic. So you write this on your activity notebook. One reason is blank. A second reason is blank. Last blank. For these three reasons, I know why blank. Okay? So you write it on your activity notebook. Do you have any questions for our assessment? Okay, if there's none, let's proceed with the extension activities. Now, for your extension activities, you are going to give the importance of pigments in photosynthesis by using varied activities. You're going to choose one activity below. So you're not going to do these three activities that are enumerated here, but you are going to choose one kung saan kayo hiyang, in which you are confident that you can do it. So the question is, you're just going to give the importance of pigments in photosynthesis by using this one of this given activity. So first, if you are good in composing a song, so you compose a song about the importance of pigments in photosynthesis. The song must have 1 to 2 stanzas. Another one, if you are good in drawing, so you're going to use or you're going to draw comics showing the importance of the pigment in photosynthesis. And then third, if you are good in writing stories, so you're going to write an essay about the importance of pigments in photosynthesis. You're just going to choose one activity, and then you turn it into our Google Classroom. The deadline is will be reflected in our Google Classroom. If you have questions, you can email me, or you can also chat me in our chat box. Okay. So do you have still any questions about our topic or the assessment or even the extension? So if there is none, so that is now the end of our class. So I hope that you have learned a lot from this morning, and I know you did because of your participation with our different activities. And for the next time, we're going to discuss about light-dependent reaction. So that would be all for this day. Thank you for attending into our virtual class, and see you again next meeting. So that would be all for this day. So thank you so much for participation. Have a good day, and God bless us all.